Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Motivation with Mommy's Tea Time, where we inspire and empower moms to manifest the life that they want. I am your host, Ramika Latash, and today we have a special guest, Maritza Gabriel. She's a survivor, advocate, and a beacon of hope, overcoming domestic abuse, violence, and rape. Marissa's journey is one of the is resilience from battling suicidal thoughts to thriving. She discovered her worth transcend the narrative of her abuser. Marissa, a single mother of three with over 23 years in the dental field, spreads her message of hope across greater Washington, D.C. as a volunteer, sexual assault advocate, and founder of the nonprofit Enough Cries. Since 2014, she empowers women to embrace their survivorship. Marissa impacts extends beyond with features on radio recognitions from Mayor Derek Wood and two nominations from the Prince William County In- Influential Women's Award. Yeah. Yeah. Maritza, a single mother of three with over 23 years in the dental field, spreads her message of hope across. Oh, I'm reading the same thing over and over again. I don't know how that happened. But Marissa, welcome to the show.
That is an amazing introduction. Amazing introduction. Kudos for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I gotta figure out how to pre-record these intros because I'll be like, no, but yeah, I'm glad we are connected. We've been connected for a couple of years now through I did some
Social
work
media. Yeah.
for yeah, I did some work for her logo what was it? Animation logos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we connected. But enough cries stood out to me. It always did. Today that's what our topic is about. Enough cries, turning adversity into advocacy um, through her nonprofit, Enough Cries.
Yes.
So before we get started, do you want to say anything to our audience?
I want to just thank you for inviting me to your
Yeah.
podcast. I do watch you periodically because of the timing that you have your shows, but I have been watching you. And
Thank you.
congratulations, you're doing an
Thank
amazing
you.
job.
Thank you.
I just want to start with the audience and tell the audience that they are enough. Always think
Yeah.
of yourself as being enough, no matter what nobody tells you.
Yes. Yes. That's see. We already getting off to a great start. She is ready. I know when I advertise the song, she's ready. Yes, she is ready to empower and inspire you guys to just live the life that God intended you to live.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so your journey from surviving domestic abuse, violence, um, rape, it's so inspiring. Like, can you share um the turning point that led you to choose not only to live but to embrace life with resilience and determination?
That's a good question. Because I think a lot of people don't recognize that moment because it becomes a norm.
Yeah.
And my moment was when I found myself when my abuser was choking me and I had my kids in a room and I
Mhm.
completely passed out and I don't know how long I passed out for. I just remember that time had passed by
Yeah.
and one of my kids came out and was
Mhm.
shaking me. And
Yeah.
at that moment, like I said, I don't remember how long I was passed out, but all that
Yeah.
I thought about was what if it was a point that I didn't wake up and
Yeah.
my child was to be the one to find me.
Yeah.
And at
Yeah.
that point, regardless of how many years I was going through the abuse, at that moment is when it hit me. Like, I don't
Mhm.
want my child to experience that,
Yeah.
and have
Yeah.
that memory of trying to wake up my mom and can't. And at that moment is when I say I have to make a change. It wasn't really for me, it was for them. I needed to make that change for my children.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it became a normal. It became a norm for me. So I was
Mm.
okay. I mean, and I know that sounds really crazy. I was okay.
Yeah.
Initially, you're not okay, but my kids had a home. My kids had food. My
Yeah.
kids were in an environment that, even though it wasn't a healthy home, they
Mm-hmm.
had what they needed to survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't want to take that away from them, because I probably wasn't going to be able to pay the bills, feed my kids,
Yeah.
um, give them the necessities. So I said, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? If I deal with this, they'll have this. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how I'm being treated, as long as
Yeah.
they have what they need.
Yeah.
But that moment that I passed out, when he choked me and he left, and one of
Mm-hmm.
my kids shook me up, I don't know how long time had passed,
Yeah.
but it was at that moment that I was like, I don't want my child to have this embedded in their mind that
Yeah.
their mom never woke up.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
was the moment that I knew I had to do something for myself, for
Yeah.
their
That.
well-being.
Yeah. That's in different situations. We say it's okay. It happens to me, but when it affects your child, it's just something
Hmm.
inside you that just you say, "Oh no, not my kids. You can do whatever you want to me." But
Right.
when it comes down to your kids, I mean, it's like you get that extra strength, that
Absolutely.
extra, yeah, like that protective mode just like really
Hmm.
kicks in. Um, a lot of people go through it like for years and years. Was this like years or was this like a short period of
It
time?
was a total of 5 years.
Okay.
A total of
Yeah.
5 years. And it didn't
Yeah.
start like that. It didn't
Yeah.
start like that. He
Yeah.
was not my kid's father. I was married and I got divorced, and here comes this charming man, loving
Mm,
on my kids. And that's what we
yeah.
want, if we're going to be into another relationship, for that stepfather to accept our kids as
Yeah.
their own,
Yeah.
and he was
Mhm.
doing it all, and that
Mhm.
allowed me to fall in love with him. But
Yeah.
within those years, I realized that he was a great guy when he wasn't using drugs. Then it became
Mhm.
a monster. And
Yeah.
then I knew that I was raised in church.
Yeah.
So I knew drugs was not the way my mom raised me,
Yeah.
having drugs in the
Yeah.
house and selling
Yeah.
drugs at the house. Although I
Yeah.
wasn't doing the drugs and I wasn't selling, it was him.
Yeah.
That fear in me was like, this is not the right way to
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
And when I decided to better myself, get a job, start making my own money, that became a
Mhm.
threat to him, because
Mm.
I know he
You're
no
not
longer had
dependent
that
anymore. Mhm.
financial power over me. It
Mhm.
became a threat.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted to do better for myself. I wanted to do better for my kids. But
Yeah.
that's when the abuse started. And it got worse throughout the years, because I started moving up in the facility, as from just working in a cafe. I used to work at a hospital. From working in a cafeteria,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, serving patients. Now being admin and up in the
Mhm.
floors, and I have to dress up properly. I have to
Mhm.
present myself now with,
Mhm.
my business attire.
Mm.
And that started leading to jealousy,
Yeah. Mhm.
insecurities,
Mhm.
and making more money. And I
Yeah.
was just doing my Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and he still
Mhm.
had to hustle every day.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that's when it got worse. And I
Yeah.
know that's the moment that things shifted in our relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Um, it's just crazy. Like you think you know someone, and then just to flip the script like that, I hear that all the time. It's always start off as charming.
Hmm.
Um, but I get addiction. It can either change you into a totally different person,
Right.
or it can, yeah, I mean, the drug addiction, that alone is a monster.
Hmm.
Um, But I'm so glad that you've overcame that. Your aha moment was your kids. Seeing you in that situation. Um, a lot of time you said 5 years. I asked you the timing because um, a lot of people do it for years and they never get out. So it brings me to my next question on how you volunteer and advocate all over the city. How do you believe sharing your story can impact and empower others of survivors?
Well, one of the things that I told myself, because I left New York and came to Virginia to start over again, to give myself a
Okay.
new life. So I
Mhm.
knew I had to remove myself completely, detach myself completely from the
Yeah.
situation, not just the relationship, but the entire situation. And I started brand new, a new life in Virginia. Um, came with nothing, nothing, just one paycheck
Yeah.
and three kids. And
Yeah.
I had to start from scratch. So furniture,
Yeah.
clothing, toys,
Yeah.
because my kids were young. Um, so when I moved to Virginia, I always told myself, I want to volunteer and help other women. I just did not know how. And I also knew that I wasn't healed, that I can't help someone if I'm not healed myself because things will
Yeah.
trigger.
Yeah.
So I needed to work on myself
Yeah.
and pray a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pray a lot.
Yeah.
I had a big, um, it was a challenge for me to forgive. And I know I couldn't heal unless I forgave.
Yes.
So I prayed a lot and I asked God always to give me a forgiven heart
Yeah.
that, I can move forward and leave my past in my past. And God worked with me for years, and I had that constant battle with God. Like, I really want the worst for him. I want him to die. I want him,
Yeah.
but it's just like God gave me a loving heart. I
Yeah.
told God, transform my heart, give me a loving heart,
Mhm.
a forgiving
Yeah.
heart that,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I want to just move forward with my life.
Yeah.
And when I came to Virginia, I came in 2000. And in 2014, I started my organization. And I told myself there was one organization here that I reached out in the county
Mm-hmm.
and I started volunteering. And they provided me with a bed, clothes for
Okay.
my kids,
Mm-hmm.
toys, and they helped me
Mm-hmm.
get my first apartment.
Nice.
So, in the midst of that, the help that they gave me, I told myself the day I'm able to heal myself, I'm going to volunteer. I want to
Yeah.
do the same for someone else. So
Yeah.
I started involving myself in the county with being a sexual advocate, being a domestic violence advocate, and
Yeah.
involving myself with the my county police department, so I can find
Mm-hmm.
out how many cases are in my county that I can
Mm-hmm.
help women. Just not the Hispanic, just the Latino community, because I know a
Yeah.
lot of immigrants are here and don't know how to speak English, and they feel
Right.
like if you report something, they're going to be sent back to their country.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
wanted to get my facts straight, when it
Okay.
came to that.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the county that helped me get back on my feet, helped me
Yeah.
be who I am today. And
Mm-hmm.
will forever be grateful to my county because the help came from every angle. And I told
Yeah.
myself, when I do my organization and I, be in my right state of mind, I want to give back to everybody and make a
Yeah.
difference, like be that voice for women that cannot speak. But I know that they're going through something and I want to be their voice. I want to be their reason to move forward and show them that this is not the end of your life. Like you
Yeah.
can make it too.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy. I don't want to sit here
Right.
and say it's an easy transition. No, it's not. A lot of tears, a lot of frustration.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a hard road, but can it be done?
Yeah.
Absolutely, because I'm living
Yeah.
proof of it. I did it
Yeah.
with three kids and one paycheck,
Yeah.
and it can be done. It can be done.
Yeah. I like how, because this is what Mommy Tea Time is all about. I like how you said like the it's not easy, right?
Hmm.
And I like how you, because I'm trying to, trying to get my words right
The
to make
community.
sure. Um, because when you said you moved, when you moved and you just went with your kids and a paycheck, I know a lot of times, people, they don't leave because they don't know how to.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, When you left from one state to the other, was that through like some type of woman domestic program
No,
or?
so
Okay,
I reached out to a family member. I have That's another thing. We don't reach out to people because we're ashamed, we're embarrassed. I mean,
yeah,
I was embarrassed because I didn't know how to tell my mom.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I didn't speak out about it. It's just
yeah,
like we're raised. What goes in the house stays in the house.
yeah,
I
yeah,
preach that all the time. Do not do that. Like teach our
yeah.
daughters how to speak out. Teach our
To
daughters
tell, yeah,
to tell.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
finally reached out to a cousin, and the first thing I said was, "Please don't ask me questions.
yeah,
I just need your help,
yeah,
and I need to
yeah,
know if I can leave and go to your house and stay for a couple of weeks until I get on my feet." The
yeah.
first thing she said was, "Come on."
Okay,
As soon as she said, "Come on," I got a U-Haul, put
yeah,
everything in trash bags. Like, so
mm,
I told my kids, collect a couple of toys, put them in the trash bag,
yeah,
and some of your clothes, and we left.
yeah,
We
yeah,
came to Virginia.
yeah,
The anger in me, because as a mother, I knew what I was removing my kids from, gave me
yeah,
that strive,
yeah,
that survival mode,
yeah,
that I
yeah,
had to make it happen for them,
yeah,
because I
yeah,
knew it was going to be hard for them too. Because even though I was making the transition, they were going to a new school, meeting new friends, being in a new community,
yeah,
leaving their toys behind and
yeah,
taking just a couple of toys. So I knew the
yeah,
transition I was making was not just hard for me, but it was hard for them. So I
yeah,
knew as a mom, I got on that survival mode. And I was like, you
yeah,
know what? I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to
yeah,
just get a job, make money, but I'm going to better myself for them. I never said for me.
yeah.
Everything I did
But
was, I'm going to do it for them. But
yeah,
in the midst of it, I was also learning from myself and the
yeah,
strength that I had in me.
yeah,
When I look back, I'm like, I don't know how I did it. Three
yeah,
kids, working
yeah,
full time, going to school part
yeah,
time, and I made a career out of it. I'm here about 24
yeah,
years as a
yeah,
surgical technician in the dental field,
yeah.
and I love my job.
Yeah, I'll take me back to that because this is what we talk about, the healing process. And then once you heal, able to empower. Um, and sometimes we're empowering as we ascending. Just like you said, even though your focus was on your kids, at the same time you were getting the healing. Look, you didn't even
Exactly.
realize the strength that you had, and that's a lot of
Exactly.
deterrence. That's a lot of deterrence for
Mm-hmm.
women who are trying to get out. They don't realize how strong they are. Um,
Right.
and just get out and everything else, falling. And that's easier
For
said
us
than
to
done, like
say,
you
yeah.
said. Yeah, because that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's the part that deters them from leaving because they don't think they're strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you have kids too. Like you said earlier, it was like my kids have a roof over their head. They don't have to worry about food. They have the things that they need. Let me just ride this out,
Right.
or whatever. But I believe everyone has their breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
But the message we want to convey here is that you don't want to wait too long in that breaking point and you're not here anymore because
Right.
you break at that breaking point. So this is what this platform is used to encourage someone out there who may be listening is that, if Maritza can do it, I can do it too. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, to give the motivation. You spoke about the success in your field, how you chose to go back to school, and it's been 23 years. Like, how do you manage balancing? like the healing part and the motherhood and your career and now advocating
Hmm.
for the work. Like how do you manage all that and balance that?
Well, when I started my organization, I didn't realize it's not like I woke up one day and said I'm going to start my organization and this is the
Yeah,
name of it.
yeah,
Um I prayed on it. I really prayed and I asked God, what is my purpose? What was the purpose
mm-hmm,
of me going through what I went through? What was the
mm-hmm,
purpose of that struggle that I
yeah,
almost lost my life to it? And I'm like,
yeah,
what is the purpose of all this, you know?
yeah,
And as a Christian, I battled with that a lot because I'm like, how can you love me and create me when I'm not a bad person, but you allow me to go through this and allow my children to experience this?
yeah,
So I prayed on it and I have that communication that I wanted him to speak to me directly. I didn't want him to speak to me through a
or-
pastor or
yeah,
a member from church. I
mhm,
wanted him to speak to me directly.
yeah, yeah,
And all I kept hearing was, you have to forgive. I can't use you and I can't speak to you yet until you forgive. And
yeah,
I knew I
yeah,
had a lot of hatred. But
yeah.
the minute that I started shifting my mind and my heart
There it
is
is.
when I started
Mm-hmm,
having dreams of me speaking to women that were
mm-hmm,
also in the same situation as me, but they
yeah,
couldn't speak out. Like they were trying to yell, but they couldn't
mm,
yell.
yeah.
And I would look at them and then yell for them.
Wow.
And one night I woke up and they said, somebody introduced me at an event in my dream
Mhm. Mhm.
and said, the founder of Enough Cries. I woke up and wrote it down and I kept it with me. And I was like,
Mhm.
I would look at it, every now and then. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
But it happened a dream again. And it was the same thing. I said, okay, you want me to speak? And I was like, God, please, I don't want to be a pastor. Like,
You're right, right. That's what people think when they see you speak. Like, oh no.
I
Yeah.
was like, God, please, I don't want to be a pastor. Like, I'm
Uh-huh.
not. But
Mhm.
in the dream, it's just like I kept seeing women, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So I started my organization, and it just took off from there. And I'm so blessed that the healing I spoke about what I've been through, it became my healing. I was
Yeah.
able to speak to a woman, and she's like, I'm going through that too.
Yeah.
That to me was on the right journey.
Yeah.
This is why I went through what I went through, to become
Yeah.
their voice, to inspire
Yeah.
them, let them know, listen, if I did it with kids, and when I tell you it was not easy, like my kids, when I just had barely enough to make dinner for kids, and whatever I didn't finish, I would scrape and put it in my plate, and that was my dinner.
Mhm.
That's how I ate.
Yeah.
But they never saw that struggle
Yeah.
because as a mother,
Yeah.
I was like, here's your dinner, and
Uh-huh.
I told myself, this is the day, this is real. This is a struggle. But you know
Mhm.
what? I'm going to get through because there's a lesson behind this struggle.
Yeah.
There's a lesson that I'm going to learn that I'm
Yeah.
going to help others to
Yeah.
know it's not easy. Lots of nights crying, either going to work on
Yeah.
my car. That my car
Yeah.
was my safe haven. That's where I yelled. That's where I
Yeah.
cried. That's where I
Pride. Yeah.
prayed. That's where I worshiped. But my
Yes.
kids never. They always up to this day say, "Mom, I want to be as strong as you are."
Yeah.
But it's
So they saw your strength. It's funny how kids see you. Um they feel you
hmm
in those days where you think you're just like falling all apart, they see strength.
they see strength.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they see strength.
they
And
see
I get
strength.
that. Yeah, that my card, that's safe haven. It's many a times where we done did some worship, we done heard some
In
things from
that
God
car,
in that
yes.
car.
Yeah,
Like, okay, dry them tears up. Come on, you got this. And
yeah. It's time to
it's
walk in the
just
house. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
and
I love how you said the mindset because that's what we talk about, changing your mindset. And when you said the healing process started with forgiveness, a lot of times we don't realize that's what hold us back.
hmm
You think you're healed from the situation, but then you're still angry at your past or whoever did something to you in your past, your trauma, you're still holding on to that. And what people don't realize, when you hold on to that, you're unable to move on in life because you're still
Right.
stuck. You're still stuck there. Now the person that you're angry about and you haven't forgive, they're moving on with their life.
Absolutely.
And you mad because they moving on with their life and they still smiling, and you still here hurt because you're stuck in the past and you're
Right.
not forgiving. When you say forgive, I want the audience to realize that you're not forgiving for them.
Right.
You're
It's
forgiving
for
for
your feelings.
yourself. Yeah, and that's what people can't understand. They feel
Yeah.
like if they forgive that person, it's giving them a pass. You can't worry
Hmm.
about them because
No.
God is going to deal with that person. That's
Yeah,
up to God.
absolutely.
That's not for us to make sure that person suffer or even wish death on that person.
Right.
That's not our job to do that. Our job is us,
Exactly.
us,
And
us
forgiving
first.
is such a it's hard to forgive,
Oh yeah.
but I mean it is the best healing you can give yourself,
Yes.
because even though you forgive your abuser or whatever, you learn through the years also how to forgive people that come in your path,
Oh yeah.
that may cross you. And I've
Yeah.
learned through the years, I can love you, but I can
I
love you
love you
from a
from the
distance,
distance.
you know. And
Yes.
if you need my help, I'm more than happy to help you
Mhm.
again, but I
Yeah.
know it's from a distance,
Yes.
and I've learned that lesson because I'm that type of person that I'm very giving. And I'm
Yeah.
always say, how can I serve you? And
Uh-huh.
people,
Uh-huh.
my circle are like, why do you always say that? I said, because how can I serve you? How can I help you out? How can I
Mm.
build you, to the next level?
Yeah.
And I think that is so important as women,
Mhm.
that we help each other and we
Mm.
uplift each other to
Yeah.
help that women get to the next level, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
Um, because you're not catty and you're not in competition.
Yes.
Having
Yes.
an organization, you run across a lot of women that, may need the help. And that is
Mhm.
our job. Like, I feel like God placed me here, and I have the experience because, again, I'm living proof of this battle that I went
Yes.
through. And that's my journey. And I'm going to move forward and run with it because this is where God placed me. And I'm going to move forward with it and grow. And I love to tell people, like, you can make it. Whatever you're going through, whatever it is in life that you're going through, you can make it through.
Yes.
If it was
Yes.
easy, everybody will make it through, but it's not.
No. It's a
So only
daily.
the strong can survive it. And
Yes.
even if you
Mm.
don't know that you have the strength, trust me,
You
when
have it.
that anger, when that beast brought
Yeah.
in there,
Yes.
you'll get through it.
Oh
You'll
yeah.
get through it. And it's
Yes.
okay. And it's
Yeah.
okay. Even if you come out scratched with bruises,
Bruce.
with stitches, guess what?
Yeah.
When you look
Yeah.
back and you be like,
Yeah.
oh, this was that day.
Uh-huh.
And you can say, and this is where I am today.
Yep. And you can rejoice.
And
Yes.
rejoice about it.
Yes, that brings me to my next question because when you don't see the light at the at the end of the tunnel,
Hmm.
and you can't see how you're going to get through this situation, this domestic abuse life or whatever trauma or whatever you're going through in life,
Hmm.
and just when you get to the light at the end of the tunnel and you're being praised from the mayor and you're being nominated twice for awards, being the most influential woman. um, how does that motivate you to continue your effort? Because now that you look back, you like, this is God, you had me all along, with the dream, giving me a glimpse, showing me the dream. Like, how do you feel now? Because this is the part where people don't see. Um,
Now you're gonna make me cry.
sorry.
It's
This
fine.
is so
Um,
important because people don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And if you just go through the
Hmm.
process. You can do it. How does
Yeah.
that motivate you to just keep?
I'm forever thankful to God, even though I know some people um, are not very religious, but
Yeah,
hold on to something that motivates you and pulls you through. One thing
yeah,
about me, it was that I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel,
yeah,
but I'm that person that I don't like to be defeated either.
yeah,
So lots of times I would stretch my hand out
mhm,
and be like, just pull me through, and I'll close my eyes. I don't care what is blowing beside me, just pull me through, God.
yeah,
And when I look back and see the things that I've been through, and I just never saw that light at the end of the tunnel.
mhm,
And what I'm doing now, you know, God's placed me in this journey and I'm being acknowledged by people around me.
yeah,
That is, I give glory to God for that, because
yeah,
only He was able to do that. And
mm,
God knows our life story even before we are born.
yes,
So I look forward every day to, okay, what's tomorrow gonna look like, God? Like, what do you
yeah,
have for me?
yeah.
And it's so important for people to really, I'm sorry, um,
It's okay. No,
find
this
that
is real.
strength,
Yeah, mhm,
find that strength within you,
mm, yeah,
because we all have it. You just
yeah,
have to dig deep inside and find it. And
yeah,
whatever you're going through, trust in the process. You know, we always hear trust the process, trust the process. Honestly, trust it 100%, because you're going through it for a reason. You
yeah,
know, and it's gonna make you stronger. You
mhm,
know, it's gonna make you wiser. It's gonna
yeah,
open your eyes to learning, um, and just becoming a better you. I mean,
yes,
sometimes we have to be broken to be rebuilt. Not that God did us wrong, because
right,
we know we're made in His image, but
yes,
sometimes God has to break us because we pick up bad habits along the years.
yes,
And He has to break us and say, this is not how I created you. Let me do this. Oh, let me build you back up. And I
yes,
believe that God did have to break me to
yes,
that point for me to really say, I trust you.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know and
yeah,
I'm grateful for that. I'm so grateful for my journey that I've been through the years. It's very admirable of being recognized in my county,
yeah,
um, because I do it because I want to be that voice to other
yeah,
women. I want to be
yeah,
that example that I did
yeah,
it with 3 kids. And
yeah,
I keep going back to that, because the people say
because
I have kids, but I don't care how many kids you have. I started over with paycheck,
yeah,
one paycheck that
yeah,
was not more than $800,
yeah,
and 3 kids, and I made it through. And my kids, I mean, they're amazing kids. Now I have 5 grandkids. And it just to think, like, when I spent time with my grandkids, it's like I almost took my life away. Almost cut my life short, and I would have been
yeah,
missing out on this.
yeah,
And every day is a blessing that I wake up and breathe, and I'm like, I'm here. I
yeah,
have to continue moving forward.
yeah. It's so inspiring. It is, and encouraging, and I hope that it helps someone out there who is going through domestic abuse, um, and need a way to get out. I just hope that this give you that little push, that little strength,
Mhm.
to reach out, to call someone, let someone know. Like you said, a lot of times your closest ones to you don't even know that you're going through what you're going
Mhm.
through because you're embarrassed to tell. No, open your mouth, let someone know, find help, resources, and you may be able to give some resources out on what number to contact or what organization to contact that may can help these women get out the situation that they're in.
Yeah,
Um,
so I'm gonna put it after the podcast. I'm gonna put the 800 number. There's an 800 number
so-
that you can call 24/7, and also
okay.
you can text if you don't want to place that call because you're
Yeah.
embarrassed. You can
Yeah.
have a text conversation and there's somebody there,
Yeah.
English or Spanish. And I
Yeah.
also wanted to state that domestic violence is not just a physical thing,
Yeah.
because we're under the impression we think of just physical. It's not
Right.
only just a physical. People don't recognize the emotional part of it, the mental
Yeah.
part of it, the verbal part of it, and that was my biggest struggle,
Yeah.
the verbal part of it, because
Yeah.
the things that he would say to me, it embedded in my head. And even though
Yeah.
I was out of the situation, it still haunted me.
Yeah.
And I had to learn to say, you know what, I can't give him that power anymore. Because the
Yeah.
physical part, you take an ibuprofen, a Tylenol, and you get over the pain.
You know what? I was just getting ready to say that because I have to be careful. I don't want to be insensitive, but I feel like the verbal abuse and the emotional abuse is worse than the physical
Worse.
because the
Yes.
bruises heal. But when you start messing with the mind
Mine.
and it's embedded, now you have to work harder to heal the
Harder.
mind.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I didn't want to say that because I don't know and I don't want to be
No, and
insensitive,
that's
but
good that we open that, because a lot of people don't know that they're being emotional abuse or verbal abuse because it becomes a normal.
yeah,
Oh, that's how we talk to each other, but that doesn't make
yeah,
it right.
right,
you know
right.
he's not calling you by your name, he's calling you out of your name, so it
Yeah,
doesn't make it right.
yeah,
The
yeah.
emotional abuse, you don't realize that you're being emotional abused because it has become a norm.
Yeah, yeah.
There's also the financial abuse. That's what I'd experienced too. I
I
was scared
learned
to
that.
leave because
I
of the
learned that.
financial abuse.
Yeah,
He had the control of the money, and he
yeah,
knew as long as he had the control, I can only go so far.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
he had that control over me financially.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
not just a physical thing, because a physical
Mhm,
thing, trust me, you get bruised. I mean, he was very smart. He always hit me on my back so nobody can see it physically.
mhm,
But I'll take a Tylenol, get over it, go to work. But
yeah,
the emotional part and the
yeah,
verbal part as to you're stupid, you're never
yeah.
gonna be, you only got a
Being,
high school diploma, you ain't gonna
mhm,
be nothing, you
yeah,
got stretch
yeah,
marks, who's gonna want
yeah.
you with 3 kids?
Mhm.
That
That's the one. It
that
gets you with the kids.
infested.
Yeah,
Yeah, that infested in me. And I
yeah,
was just like,
yeah,
okay, well, I'll be alone. It's fine. I need to get out of this situation.
yeah.
But the self-confidence, you're not pretty enough. I had to
Mhm.
give myself words of affirmation
Yes.
to, get
Yeah.
myself out of that mentality, because I was like, I'm not with this man and he still has power in my
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta work on this.
Yeah.
And up to this day, I have little stickers in my bathroom mirror,
Yeah.
and I'll have a Bible verse and say, "Good morning, beautiful." And I'll be like,
Yeah.
"You're beautiful,"
Yes.
and roll
Yes.
out.
Yes.
But I
That's so
have to, because I
important.
have to give myself that words of affirmation,
Yeah.
I had to build myself that confident. When I
Yeah.
went back to school, I had to build myself like I am smart enough. I can
Yes.
get my associate's degree. I can do this. Was
Yeah.
it a struggle? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Being a full-time mom, working full-time, going to school part-time, it is a struggle,
Yeah.
but it could be done. It can
Yeah.
be done.
Yeah. I yes. I I know because I love you said that because we talk about this all the time about affirming and affirmations. And people are so dismissive to it, but it's a daily thing. It's not something that you say to yourself and your life changes overnight. You
Exactly.
really have to work on that. And I love that you said that even though that you're healed, you're advocating for other women, you have been
Hmm.
awarded, but guess what? I still have to affirm myself every day.
Every
I
day.
have to look in the mirror and I have to say, "Hey girl, you know,
Yeah. Hmm.
you know,
It's true. You have to
it's
continue working on yourself.
yeah, yeah. So I love that you said that because um it's not an overnight thing and I want these
Mm-mm.
women to know that
It's
it's
a
not easy,
process.
but it's a process, it's not easy, but you can do it. You can
Oh,
do it.
absolutely. Absolutely. You
Yeah.
can do it. Yeah.
So
I mean,
I
if they need words of affirmation, they can hit me up. And I'll be,
yeah,
you're beautiful, you're smart.
yes. I mean, we do. We need
I'll
those
be your cheerleader.
accountability. Yeah, we need those accountability partners. to get us through things in life. And like you said, if it's just to pick up a phone call and I tell you, like, look, you are beautiful, you can do
Mm-hmm.
this, you are wonderfully made, like, look, you got this,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, so pick up the phone, call someone. This takes me to my last thing. We gotta get connected with Marissa and Enough Cries, her organization, because just tell us exactly what the organization does.
So Enough Cries provides resources in the DMV location.
Mhm.
Even if you're out of state, I will make it my best to get the information that you need at a
Yeah,
local facility, a woman's shelter, because I do have connections from here that they could connect you with something in your county or state.
yeah,
We also provide bedding, fooding, everything that I needed to get myself started is what my organization provides.
yeah.
Um, Also, I work very closely with the police department, Prince William County Police Department,
Mhm.
because I am a sexual advocate. So I'm one of the Spanish speaking women that they call if someone calls for a sexual assault. I'm
Okay.
there and holding that victim's hands, walking them through, um, and just pretty much motivate the women in my county
Yeah,
and teach them how they can make it through.
yeah.
So I do a little bit. I'm a little bit in everything here.
I love it. I love what you're doing. I see a book. Can we get a book?
I am. I started writing my bio, and
Right.
again, it's a challenge.
Yes, I know.
Um,
I know. You have to
because
relive those moments.
you have to relive the moments, and there's a
Mhm.
lot of things that I forgot because you know your memory puts buries things, and then when you're actually
Mhm.
writing, you're like,
Mhm.
God, this really happened, you
I
know.
know. I
But
know.
it's taken me a minute,
Yeah.
and it's therapeutical for me. It's
Yeah.
therapeutical writing and putting things down on paper and actually reading it. So I
Yeah.
am working on a book. I
Mhm.
don't want to give too much
That's
information and when it's
okay.
gonna come
I just
out.
wanted to get that out there. I just wanted to get that out there.
It's gonna be
But
out there. But
yeah,
yeah, I can't wait. I started my podcast, a new podcast.
that's what I
So
was going to say. Yep.
that's the
Enough
first.
podcast, enough
Yeah,
cries.
so
Mhm.
when is enough? And I think
Yes.
the title I named it that is because I want people to ask themselves, when is enough? Like, at what point do you
Yeah.
feel like, okay, this is it, I'm done? Like,
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know that moment. So I
Yeah.
want, I like to ask people that question: when do you feel enough is enough? And that's just
Yeah.
not just for domestic violence, but it's just in general a question in life. Like, when is enough? Whatever, if
Yeah.
it's something you're going through at work
Yeah.
or a relationship
Yeah.
or whatever situation, when is enough?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you have those moments where Um, I got tired of being angry about my past and my trauma. I
Hmm.
got tired of like feeling like this every day. And I'm like, this is not me. I'm not an angry person. I'm a loving
Right.
person. So guess what? I chose healing.
Hmm.
I chose healing and I chose not to be um a victim, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because some people get stuck in victim mode.
Hmm.
Why me? Woe me? This is my life. Nothing happens good in my life. It's always happened to me. And
Hmm.
I didn't want to be like that. I felt like it was more draining. It was draining me, like literally killing me because
Right.
and then not speaking about it. So you're going through all these emotions and
Emotions.
thoughts within yourself. You're not even sharing it.
Hmm.
And my healing journey started in 20 well, it started 20 well, I had different segments of healing throughout my life, but 2020 was definitely like the breaking point of enough is enough. And I've spoke so much within myself of how I felt about things, but when I actually went to healing therapy and I wrote it out and then she had us read what
Hmm.
we wrote out, I mean, I cried so hard like a baby. It was the
Hmm.
first time I actually heard it with my
Heard
own
it.
ears because I spoke it out. And
Mm-hmm.
then I kind of got like angry with myself because I'm like, I'm going on with life like I'm healed and I ain't. I'm healed. But when I actually spoke the words out my mouth for the first
Mm-hmm.
time, but guess what? It was like a weight lifted off of me. Like
Yep.
I finally got those words out.
Out.
I didn't
Uh-huh.
realize they wasn't out. I was dealing with these words within for so
Mm-hmm.
long. But when she had us read it out, that was just like so mind blowing. So
Yeah.
yes, that brings me to get the help that you need. It's people out
Absolutely.
there. It's people out there that can, help you. These podcasts are wonderful, wonderful tools. And
Right.
that's why I wanted Maritza to tell you about her new podcast because um, it's needed. It's needed.
Yes.
When you guys are in a situation you think you can't get out, turn on a podcast. When is enough.
Right.
You know, someone on there that might be your enough moment. Something may
Exactly.
click. Yes, something may click, in that moment. So guys, I hope you were inspired today. Something kind of motivated you to push you that you can get out. Um, Follow. I need you guys to go and follow
Mm-hmm.
Maritza. And maybe if you are an advocate, maybe you can link up with her
Absolutely.
with
Yeah.
Enough Cries because look, Enough Cries can be in Virginia, DC, New York. You can have
Anyway.
extensions where
Mm-hmm.
where these
Exactly.
women can come together with Enough Cries and you can work with women all over. Look, I'm speaking.
Yeah. Speak it into existence. Let's go.
Yeah,
I take
yeah.
it.
So
I take it.
connect. Yeah, so connect with her. All her social media handles are going across the screen. She's going to give us a number that you can call or text for help. Um, this was a great show. This is
Yes.
I think my third domestic abuse guest on the show. I don't know. We just need it. I guess. It keeps coming. Everyone's story is different. You may resonate, Marissa's story may resonate with you. Um, and I just hope that you just have that breaking point where you have the strength to leave. Um,
I
our
also wanted
affirmation.
to add,
Oh,
I
go
also
ahead.
wanted to add, just I'm sorry to interrupt you. If they go
That's
on
okay.
my website, um, enoughcries.org,
Mm-hmm.
there is a chat that I know a lot of people think it's probably an automated system. It's
Oh,
actually me. It goes as
oh,
soon as you get on my website, and if you
oh,
want to chat and ask questions, I'm the one that I get on and I'll speak to you personally. And
okay.
nothing stays recorded.
Yes.
After we log off, the conversation gets deleted,
Okay.
but you're able to speak to me directly, ask any questions. If you need resources, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll do my best if you are out of state to link up
Okay.
with someone to get you the information so you can start taking those first steps. But
Yes.
that first step is the hardest step, but
Yeah.
it can be done, and I believe in you
Yeah.
to be able to take that first step. But you have to realize, when is that enough, because a lot of things that we do is, at the moment, we're angry and we leave, but then we go back to the abuser,
Yeah.
and now the
Yeah.
abuser gets used to, she'll be back.
Uh-huh.
So
Mm-hmm.
I know it's hard to make that final decision, and
Yeah.
when you do leave, make sure you are prepared to
Yes.
take that journey, because it's going to be a rough journey, but
Yeah.
it's not an impossible journey.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a new journey, a new life, a new
Yeah.
way. So you have to embrace everything that's coming along with that new journey and that
Yeah.
decision that you made.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I I love that. I'm not even going to speak anymore on that. I love that feature that she has on her website. So if you need to go to her website, click on the cat and get the help that you need.
Mhm.
Our affirmation for the week is I am a resilient force overcoming challenges with grace. Each obstacle I face is a stepping stone to my growth. I embrace my worth, turning adversity into strength. I am the author of my story, and every chapter radiates with courage, resilience, and unwavering self love. Take that affirmation. I hope that it gets you through the week. Write it
Mhm.
down, journal it. Thank you guys for tuning in to Let's Talk Motivation with Mommy's Tea Time. Join us every Monday at 9 a.m. as we continue to inspire and empower moms to manifest the life that they want. Have a good day.